everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking a bit about operational costs. As a truck driver, you need to know your operational costs. You need to know what it takes to run your business every day. So we're going to go over some expenses. These expenses may vary, okay, and they may change on a given week. Every week you need to pretty much look at your numbers, make sure that your business is still maintaining itself. If you are dependent on your business to pay your personal expenses too, you need to consider that in your operational costs too. So that puts a lot of responsibility on your trucking company. So you need to know your operational costs. We're not going to go over personal expenses because that may vary from person to person, but we're going to talk about business expenses so that you can know what you have to do to make sure that your business continue to stay afloat in 2023. So the very first thing we're going to be talking about is fuel. Fuel, if you're local or regional, you can be pretty much looking to spend anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 depending on how many days you run. And I think that's pretty much fair to say. And then next on the list is meals. So as an owner operator, I don't really see how easy it is for you to stop somewhere throughout the day and find something to eat. A lot of truck drivers do not. They pretty much eat at the end of their shift, the end of their driving time. So we can just say $100 for the week for food. Telephone service. If you have just one phone, it can range from, that should start at anywhere from $80 to $100. But if you have two phones, it can be more expensive. Again, I'm just estimating some numbers, just throwing it out there for you. Tolls can be very expensive. Over here in the DMV, we have a lot of tolls. So I would say about $500 a week for tolls. And again, that's just throwing some numbers out there. That's nothing exact. You need to find your exact numbers. Loading and unloading fees. You should not be paying lumper fees, but in most situations, if you take a load and they say, hey, you have to pretty much pay those the lumper fee for yourself, then you're going to have to factor that in your day-to-day operation. I would say on average, just put $100. Typically, you do not have to load and unload yourself and actually pay for that. But it is situations where the load is paying really good and you have to make sure you find a company to load or unload you. Tires. As we know, in the trucking industry, you can go through a lot of tires. So I want to say on average, let's just say we need at least for tires on the low end, depending on if it can be recapped or not, let's just say $700 for the week, just in case the tire blow out. Okay, just in case. Or we could say $700 for every 2 weeks. Cause I mean, I don't think people losing tires like that, but let's just say $700 every 2 weeks. Preventative maintenance. We're going to go ahead and do $1,000 a month, okay? Because a PM can be very expensive, but we're not really using that $1,000 a month, but we're just going to factor it in just in case we need it. Repairs. We're going to give $1,000 a month to repairs. Factoring fees, we could do 2.99%. That's on average, and that's every load. So we're going to factor in pretty much like $30 per load. So that's, if you're doing 5 days, that's $150, and that's pretty much depending on how much your loads are, depending on that 2.9%. But that needs to be considered in your operational costs. Dispatch fees. If you are depending on a dispatcher to find you loads and help you keep your company afloat, you need to factor in that percentage on a weekly basis. Truck payment. Your truck payment can range from, I done seen it as low as $1,800, as high as $2,500. Trailer payment. Your trailer payment can range if you're financing a trailer. So let's just say on average, never had to finance a trailer, so let's just say on average, let's just say $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month, which, as you're seeing, it can get really expensive. Insurance can range from anywhere from $1,300 to as high as $2,000. In some cases, it could be more depending on how many drivers you have. So these numbers are just estimated. They're not true numbers. Health insurance, it can range from $300 to $500 a month depending on if you're pretty much taking care of your whole family on your insurance. But workers' comp, if you want to purchase workers' comp, that's another expense. If the filings is something that you do quarterly, every 3 months, so I would pretty much put away like $200 just for I think you'll be safe just putting $200 unless you have a lot of drivers. I would say $200 for just 1 or 2 drivers, because pretty much I have clients all over the world, and they pretty much, I never really seen anybody pay like $300 or more, never. And my drivers do drive, and they have multiple trucks, and pretty much they don't really pay that much money, and if the fees. Driver qualification files is something that you pay yearly, and it's pretty much between like $400 to $450. Permits, you can pay for your permits if you're going into states like New York, Oregon, and New Mexico. You'll have to pay for your permits, so you want to pretty much put that into your operational costs too. Even though you're only paying for that yearly, you can go ahead and say, okay, that's yearly, and that expense is taken care of. Your parking expenses, where you're going to park your truck. A lot of the times people charge anywhere between $150 to $200, so you want to make sure that you're putting that into your operational costs too. License plates, you're going to have to renew yearly, so I would say at least $1,800. You want to put $1,800 into your operational costs for your business. ELD provider, your ELD can range anywhere between, I want to say, $60 to $80 a month. I haven't really seen them be any, unless you have multiple trucks. Now, if you're talking about 5 or 6 trucks, then of course your cost, your operation cost is going to be different, but your return on your investment should be more. Your driver salaries, depending on how you pay your driver, you want to put that into your operational costs too. Your UCR filings is something that you file yearly, and it's pretty much just $60 and $60. I think they went up this year. I have to make sure, but it used to be $60.62, and I have to see. I think it went up just a few dollars or something like that. So I need to make sure. But you can go to UCR.gov to find out more information on your UCR and the actual price. And that $60.62 will be for 1 to 2 vehicles. So that is a very good thing. Your 2290 filings, that's $550 per truck. So it can get very expensive. So you definitely want to put that in your operational costs as a yearly expense. So we just went over a lot of things, right? And all of those things need to be in your operational costs, because those things are what's going to make sure that your businesses survive, okay? If you don't take care of your truck break down, and you are losing out on money because you can't run those loads, and then you losing relationships because those brokers don't want to work with you no more because you don't take good care of your equipment. So please sit down. These numbers don't have to be exact right now, unless once you're like your first couple of, I want to say at least 6 months in, you got into a rhythm, so you know exactly how much money you need to keep your company afloat. So please sit down and just estimate some numbers. Just look at some videos, and I hope this video was a help to you to understand what it takes to run a trucking company, because there's a lot of expenses in terms of running a trucking company, and make sure that it's profitable. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and you will always get to see me, and I will always keep it real with you all. And please comment below what kind of videos you want to see next, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Bye bye.